Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, my name is Lay and I'm a mother of two, and we're a family of four on a financial journey of becoming completely debt-free, all while still enjoying life along the way. In today's video, we are going to be doing a how to get a month ahead. If you are new to our page, thank you so much for stopping by and clicking on this video. And I really hope that you like this content and choose to stay. And if you're returning, thank you so much for your continued support as we navigate through this journey. So like I mentioned, we're going to be talking about how to get a month ahead, how we plan on getting a month ahead and taking you guys along. If you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you guys know that a few months ago, before my husband, before we went to a one income family, we were a month ahead in our variable expenses. So our cash envelopes. So we were ahead, probably had like about $1,500 for variable expenses and envelopes. That was a wonderful thing. However, life happened and we ended up using it. And then we are also a paycheck ahead in our bill account. So what that means is that on my last paycheck of every month, we have somewhere between $1,300 to $1,500 rolling over month to month. How we did that is we got ahead by using our third paycheck from like a magic month or an extra paycheck month, and we just left it in there. And so even though we're a paycheck ahead, you don't actually see it until your last paycheck of the month. So for example, I won't see what I put in September until my last paycheck of October. For us, it's okay because we have a lot of things automated. So for us, it just makes sense to kind of leave it in there, and as bills come in, we just know that they're getting paid. Now, of course, it's not our full amount of our monthly expenses, so we're going to need to get there. So that is the plan. We are going to be getting a month ahead. We're going to talk to you guys how we're getting a month ahead, and then if you're interested in it, you guys can definitely kind of follow the formula and then figure out what works best for you and your family. So one thing for a starter is for us, people, you're going to have to determine if you want, for us, this is outside of our emergency fund. So our emergency fund is really like the last, it's not plan B, it's like plan Z for us. We want to explore every other avenue before touching our emergency fund. So that's why we like having kind of a plan B, C, D, E, F, G before we have our emergency fund. That is just us. That works for us because we are primarily a one income household. So some people have their emergency fund to cover them, but we like to have a month ahead fund. So the first thing that we're going to have to do, let me go ahead and move this out the way. We'll zoom in a little bit. And then of course, you guys, I do write at an angle, but once I'm done, I'll go ahead and flip it over and then we'll talk about it. So it's just going to be in 3 easy steps, or I shouldn't say easy because you're going to see it's going to take me a minute to get this done. So in order to get a month ahead, we need to do some planning. We can't just jump into it. We need to figure out what we're saving for, how we're going to save for, and what does that look like. So for the first thing that we are going to have to figure out is, do we want this to be a bare bones? Or quote unquote normal budget? Okay, so what's the difference? So a bare bones budget means that you are eliminating anything that is not a necessity. We're not having Disney Plus, we're not eating out, we're not getting Starbucks. It is just the necessities. Or are you going to want to have what you consider your normal budget? Are you going to want to be able to incorporate your eating out, your Starbucks, your subscriptions? That is going to be the first thing of your numbers, because you're going to need to figure out what exactly you and your family is worth it. For us personally, I'll tell you guys, for us, we are going to want to duplicate a normal month. So family fun and family activities and Disney Plus, those are really important to me. It's really important that even though those things are just important to me. So for us, we're going to be doing a normal budget. So that means that we need to be saving $4,850. And this is including fixed and variable. Now, you know, you're probably thinking, what does that mean? So our fixed bills are going to be, for example, like our mortgage and our debt payments and our electricity. And then our variable expenses are going to be gas, groceries, eating out, things that can fluctuate. And they're not always the same month to month. So some months you may find that you're busier, you're using a lot of gas. Maybe it's summer and you're taking kids to sports and doing other things. And in the fall and winter, that's not so much. So they vary. As to where your fixed expenses, I know the mortgage payment is never going to change. It's always going to be like that. And so that is fixed. So in order for us to duplicate a month to month for us, that is what we would need to save, $4,850. Again, if we were to do a bare bones budget, we could drastically move that down. However, my goal of this is to pretty much transfer this into an account on the first of every month. And then that way, any income we get throughout the month, we put in a separate account, and then it kind of just does that rotation, right? So on the 31st, if we have $20 left, that $20 gets pulled out, put into like a savings challenge, and then we transfer in the $4,850, divvy it up to where it needs to go. My ultimate goal, you guys, is to stuff my envelopes once a month at the beginning of the month for the full amount. So that is our idea number that we are going to need to save to do a quote unquote normal budget for our family. Of course, if it needed to get there and we needed to do a bare bones budget, we could definitely do that. However, we are going to be preparing for just an everyday budget. The second thing we're going to need to do, and I guess we should call this one like 2A, 2B. The second thing we're going to need to do is list expenses and list variable. Right? So I know within a month I need to have $4,850, but what does that look like? My expenses versus the variable. So for our family, our fixed expenses equals $3,350. Okay, so that's what that looks like for us. So it's $3,350. I also know that this includes the debt payments, right? There's still a monthly bill. It's not going to change until the debt is paid off. This will decrease as our snowball payments are made and as things start falling down. I believe like I think our monthly minimums are like close to like 900-ish. So this will drastically go down once we're debt free, but that is the amount that I know our fixed expenses are. The next thing we're going to talk about is our variable or our cash envelopes. And so our cash envelope categories are, so we know we spend about $1,500 a month in variable expenses. And that includes, I'm going to use a pen for this. That includes gas. We have our groceries. We have eating out. We have home. And now our home envelope is 3 categories combined into one. So it's our household essentials, it's our pet essentials, and it's our kids essentials. And so what I do is I do rotate them on a weekly basis. And that way I'm always making sure that everything's taken care of without having to do it all within one setting. I'm constantly preparing for it. Okay, so for gas, and again, you guys, I know I will eventually need to go back into the office. So normally we do not spend this much on gas right now. But again, this is going to be like when life is, I don't want to say back to normal, but when it goes back to how it used to be, I know we're going to be spending quite a bit on gas. So I'm going to be budgeting $350 for that. Groceries is going to be $450. Again, we normally don't spend that much right now. But my son's teeth are coming in, so once that happens, he's going to be eating more than, avocados and bananas and baby pouches. So the grocery budget will be going up quite a bit. Eating out is going to be $200. Home is going to be $275. Family fun / activities is going to be $100. Kids is going to be $40. And then my husband and I will both be $68. That sounds like a really weird number, you guys, but when I did the math and I did the averages, that's how much we normally ended up spending each month. So that's where that came from. And then the last thing we need to figure out is when can we get this done by? When's end date? So for us, you guys, like I mentioned, we are primarily a one income household. So to come up with $4,850, that's a lot of money. And so I need to be very realistic, and we need to be very realistic of how we're going to make that happen and give ourselves adequate time to make that happen. So we have $4,850. Again, this is our goal. This is as if nothing were to change. Again, if we need to go to bare bones, we'll definitely go to bare bones, but this is just that extra peace of mind, that knowing on the first, it's like giving yourself a direct deposit than your employer. So that's a large number. I know I'm not going to be able to do it in 6 months. I know I'm not going to be able to do it in a year. So let's go ahead and try a year and a half. So that means I need to be able to save $269.40. So for me, I'm just going to go ahead and round that to $270 a month. Okay. So if we start this in November, when it will be done? May of 2024. And then we would have a full month. Hopefully by then, you guys, this number should drastically decrease. And so how am I going to come up with $270 a month? Well, a few things. So Side Hustle Saturdays, selling things around the house, doing garage sales, Poshmark, Facebook Marketplace, things like those. If there's extra hours, maybe if I am working any extra hours at overtime, automatically setting that $270 aside and just knowing, okay, for that month it's good, and having the month that we're in be a little bit tighter. Tax return time, if we get a tax return, any of those things where you get an extra little bit of money to put aside for that. So that is our plan to get a month ahead. Again, you guys, this is a journey. We're going along with it. Like I mentioned, we were a month ahead in our variable expenses. However, life happened and we used it. And we're still currently a paycheck ahead in our bill account. So I don't think we're going to move the money from the bill account. I think we're going to start fresh and get this going. And I'm really excited to take you guys along and how we plan on getting a month ahead, and how I kind of came up with the formula. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button for more and to follow us along our family's journey. And if you guys want to get to know me a little bit more, you guys can always follow us on Motherhood and Finances on our Instagram page. I talk a lot about balancing motherhood and career, that work-life balance. I talk a lot about family activities, free and low cost, some day in my lives, a lot of couponing, and you just get to know me on a more personal level. And of course, like always, if you are on a financial journey as well, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to support you in your channel and journey, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.